What's up, people? What's up? IOBA. I'm TC. So I got to shoot a video probably when I get back home to my studio, addressing this Jamaican lady that came on and said she was representing Caribbean people and what they think of the new ADOS movement. I gotta shoot a video because that's gonna take a little bit of preparation. That ain't gonna be off the top of my head, like most of my videos are, off the top of my fucking head. I mean, I do my research and I know a lot of shit just from, like I always say, just cause you know, I remember the shit and I'm old like that. But today, one of my coworkers works at the board of election on, you know, during the election season, right? And she said that she insists that everybody vote, and she tells her relatives if they don't vote, they can't come to her house and stuff like that, you know? She is a little bit older than I am, so she a straight up baby boomer. But she one of these ones that sleep. She one of these civil rights retread type baby boomers, okay? And so I try to explain to her that, you know, the prevailing attitude among woke black people now is, you know, that we must be offered tangibles that we can put our hands on, in order to throw our support behind somebody, right? I said, because we are in worse shape now than we were before Barack Obama got in office. And I said, Barack Obama sat in office for 8 motherfucking years and didn't do really a goddamn thing for black people. I mean, specifically for black people, right? What'd I say that for? Her and my other coworker, they, you know, they black women, so they think Obama is motherfucking Jesus. So they started with that, you know, he couldn't, he was blocked, he this, he that, you know. And, you know, I hit him with the standard line, you know, dude had both houses of Congress and the presidency at the beginning of his term, and he could have done a lot of things for black people that he didn't do. And, you know, that kind of went in one ear and went out the other. So I just switched the topic back over to now. I said, okay, well, what about now? I said, when we get in that voting booth, who do you want to see us vote for? Neither one of them had an answer. I said, yeah, because ain't no one has offered black people anything real that we can support. You know what I mean? I mean, just before we got into this discussion, she was telling me how a neighborhood in her hometown of Brooklyn, New York, is getting bought up and gentrified, and people are being thrown out of their homes. I mean, for old fucking bullshit rules and laws that are really outdated and, you know, ought to be against the law themselves. Like, for example, if you have, you know, a felony on your record, you got to move. If they come in and your house smell like marijuana, you got to move. If you haven't paid your water bill, you got to move. They're coming up with all of these rules and regulations to force people out of their house, because what they really want to do is they want to, you know, they want to tear the place down and build up condos or whatever the fuck, you know, in that space. So she telling me about all that, and I'm telling her, look, one of the things that these politicians should be talking about is you know, stopping this motherfucking gentrification madness, or at least putting a goddamn lid on it. I haven't heard anybody say anything about that. And I asked her, who you gonna vote for that's gonna prevent that type of shit from happening? She didn't have an answer. So this is the mindset of a lot of the people in our community. These are the people that we need to be waking up. And I'm doing my part to wake them up. But when they go home, right, and they listen to the nightly news, and then they switch over to Love and Hip Hop or Empire or one of these other crazy brainless fucking shows, and then they go to bed, and then they wake up and they do the same thing over again. They never gonna wake up. They never informed on anything. You know, they are part of the 70 or 80% of people that have to be either brought into the movement by, you know, dragging them and kicking and screaming them into the movement, or they just have to be purged right along with the rest of the people who don't understand what the fuck really going on in this world. You know, with white supremacy and whatnot, and how we being fucked over constantly. I mean, because I also told him, I said, look, the way shit look now with the current crop of politicians on the Democratic side running, I said, we might as well leave Trump right the fuck there. I like the reaction I got, because even the, you know, there's always some white people listening. So even the white people that was listening jumped up and said, no, Trump got to go. Trump ain't doing nothing no different than any other motherfucker, than any of the Bushes would have done. And I still say Hillary Clinton would have been worse than Trump. She just would have had a velvet glove over that iron fist. They don't even understand that Donald Trump is running the same program that George Bush and George Bush Jr. and Ronald Reagan and hell, Barack Obama and Bill Clinton ran. He's doing the same, you know, regime change overseas, you know, American exceptionalism and imperialism, all of that same shit that they doing. He doing it. You know what I mean? So they don't seem to understand that. So, and they also don't seem to understand that having Trump in office is a unifying factor for black people, because it's putting an ugly face on that racism that's been out there forever. It's putting a really ugly face on it. You know what I mean? And it's causing black people to have to turn inward. And that's why I want him to stay there. You see, I want him to stay there for the next 4 years. Unless somebody from an independent candidate comes out of nowhere, or somebody from the Democratic side or the Republican side come to black people, ADOS, American descendants of slaves, fundamental black Americans, one of them come to us and tell us exactly what it is they plan to do to enfranchise us and make our lives somewhat livable in this racist fucking country. Okay? Because they're gonna come at us with a rising tide lifts all boats. They're gonna come at us with the black unemployment rate is lower than it's ever been. They're gonna come at us with all of this bullshit. And it's just that, man. It's bullshit. Donald Trump didn't do nothing to change the employment rate of black people. We ain't doing nothing different than what we've been doing. They just throwing statements and talking points out there and keep repeating them, and people just start believing that bullshit. But no. We need somebody to talk directly to us and talk on an honest level and treat us like we have some measure of intelligence, and stop that fucking pandering. And I'm waiting for one of them to tell me about, one of my coworkers to tell me about Kamala Harris and Cardi B and all of that bullshit. I'm waiting on that, because that's going to come in the next time we have a conversation. But anyway, I'm going to leave it right there for now. When I get home, because I'm at work now, obviously, when I get home and I get in my studio, I'm going to address this Jamaican woman that put up this video yesterday. Oh my God, it was horrible. But I really want to talk about it. It's killing me. I got to talk about it. But anyway, that's it for now, y'all. We get my ass back to work. Look for that video tonight, though, all right? TC, and I'm out.